Call this meeting to order of the San Benito Consolidated Independent School District Board of Trustees regular board meeting of Tuesday, May the 12th. It is 7 p.m. Item number 2 is roll call. Please say aye when name called. Hector Leal.
Aye.
Oscar Medrano.
Aye.
Angel Mendez.
Aye.
Ana Cruz. Fatima Huerta. Ileana Gonzalez. Dr. Puig.
Here.
And Mr. Torres is here. We do have a quorum. Next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation.
Leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance is Joshua Hernandez from Angela G. Leal Elementary. Joshua Hernandez is the son of Juan and Evelyn Hernandez. He's a 10-year-old fifth grader at Angela G. Leal Elementary. He practices kindness and respect for teachers and students as an active member of the Student Council and for his parents and community by serving as an ladder servers at St. Benedict Catholic Church. Joshua's favorite subject in school is science, and his hobbies include playing Minecraft because it allows him to be creative. Joshua has not decided what he wants to be when he grows up, but he knows it will have something to do with nature. Lead us in the invocation is Cicali de Cuesta. Cicali de Cuesta is the youngest child of Liliana and Adolfo de Cuesta. She is a fifth grader at Angela G. Leal Elementary and recently celebrated her 11th birthday. Her favorite subject is math. She is part of the school safety patrol team and is an active member of the student council and participating in community service activities such as Trash Bash. Cicali would like to be a pediatrician when she grows up because she likes to help people feel better. Will the parents of these fine students please stand up and be recognized at this time? Please rise.
Can we have everyone rise for the pledge and for the invocation, please?
Stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee. Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Please bow your heads. Loving and gracious God, you are indeed the giver of all good gifts, and we thank you today for all your blessings, for the successful outcomes of our school events, and for all our staff members, both the teaching and support members. We ask that you bless them abundantly, and we continue to seek your wisdom, guidance, courage, and strength. Be with us in our deliberation, and help us to be wise in the decisions we make for all good of all those who have placed their trust and confidence in our leadership. Give us insight to lead with integrity, that our decisions may reflect what is right and good. Keep us from short-sightedness and pettiness. Help us to make decisions are for the good of all, and guard us from blind self-interest. Dear Lord, grant us to humility, to always seek your will in all that we do and say. All glory be to you, loving God, now and always, through Christ and the Holy Spirit, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Joshua, December. There you go. Excellent job, sir. There you go. Excellent job. Thank you very much. Next two items, items number 5 and items number 6, I'm going to ask to be tabled. At this point, the ballots for the recent election are not formally approved, so we will await the ballots to be produced and ready for canvassing, which I estimate will be next Monday?
Monday,
correct?
yes, sir.
Okay. So with that, I'll ask for a motion to table items number 5 and items number 6.
So moved.
There's a motion by Mr. Medrano. There is a second by Mr. Leal. All those in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Next item is item number 7, special recognitions. Dr. Puig.
Mr. Board President, thank you. At this time, I'd like to call up Ms. Celia Roya and help us celebrate and honor the
Yes, welcome everybody. We have two of our board members that we would like to honor this evening. And if I can get our school board president and our superintendent of schools, Dr. Mark Puig, to come up to the front, bring the awards up at the front. That way we can honor these two public servants in an appropriate manner.
I'm going to take these out.
Yes, sir.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Put them back.
We'd like to honor this evening Ms. Ileana Gonzalez. She has served as a school board president and served on various committees of the board. She served 2 terms from 2009 to 2015. Our next trustee that we'd like to honor this evening is Ms. Fatima Huerta, and she served on the board from 2012 to 2015. Thank you, Dr. Puig and Mr. Padilla, for doing the honors. And thank you, Ms. Gonzalez and Ms. Huerta, for your service on the board. We move on to the student recognitions. We have several students that are being honored before the board this evening. The first student that I'd like to call on is from San Benito High School. He is Raul Mota, and he is a member of the powerlifting team. He went to compete at the state level, where he placed second in state, and he was a regional power lifter as well. Ms. Ileana Gonzalez is doing the honors. I'd like to introduce also or recognize his coaches, Coach Alex Rosales, Coach Victor Rubalcaba. And we also have the athletic director in the audience, Dan Gomez, and I'd like to recognize the athletic coordinator, Ramiro Partida. San Benito High School Principal Henry Sanchez could not make tonight's meeting because they have a concert going on at San Benito High School as we speak. So he did send his assistant principal, Joanne Fernandez, and she's in the audience to represent the students from San Benito High School. And again, this is Raul Mota. He placed second in the 2015 Texas High School Powerlifting State Meet in Abilene, Texas. Congratulations, Raul. Great job. And if his parents are in the audience, please stand and be recognized at this time. Thank you. The Technology Department recently celebrated the 19th Annual Multimedia Contest, where students competed in various areas such as web design, creative projects with their digital videos, among others. And this is a program that is coordinated by the Technology Department under Benny Villarreal. Please help me welcome 2 seniors from San Benito High School, Julissa Limon and Nadia Hernandez. Their sponsor is Francis Drake Thrailkill. And of course, here from San Benito High School, we have Joanne Fernandez, who's the assistant principal, filling in for Mr. Henry Sanchez. And these 2 students were the award recipients on Friday, May 1st at the San Benito CISD Central Office Boardroom. The next group to earn recognition, some more winners from the Technology Department's 19th Multimedia Contest. This is in the category of web page design and then the subcategories of team and individual winners. And Mr. Hector Leal, the Vice President, and doing the honors this evening. We have Juana Vasquez, first place winner, a 6th grader at Miller Jordan Middle School. Brianna Garcia, first place winner, Miller Jordan Middle School. Alan Cifuentes, also a first place winner from the same campus. And actually, all of these students for this particular group are all from Miller Jordan Middle School. Lizette Vizcara, first place. And then we have individual winners. We have 8th grader Adrian Garcia, first place winner. And Ivan Hernandez, an 8th grader, first place winner as well. Their sponsor is joining them this evening, Alicia Lichi, and principal is Mary Alice Leal. And these students and their sponsor earned recognition on May 1st in the boardroom. Congratulations on the job well done. Our school board secretary, Mr. Oscar Medrano, is doing the recognition for the next of the group. Next group on the agenda are members of the Technology Department 19th Multimedia Contest and the winners in the category of desktop publishing, and team and individual winners, and they are Alicia Gonzalez, first place, a 6th grader at Miller Jordan Middle School. Calista Guerra, first place, also from Miller Jordan Middle School, is a 6th grader. Malena Peña is an 8th grader at Miller Jordan Middle School. We have some students from Riverside Middle School. The winners from that campus, Irene Becerra, individual 2nd place winner, a 7th grader. April Garcia, individual 3rd place winner. And all of these next students are 7th graders, Riverside Middle School. The next honoree on the list is Clarissa Alvarez, 1st place winner. Vanessa Munoz, also a 1st place winner. And we have Kayla Mendoza, a 3rd place winner. And Lizzie Morales, a 3rd place winner. Alicia Lichi and Rosie Martinez are the sponsors. And principals from those campuses, Mary Alice Leal and interim principal Esther Gonzalez. And parents, if you're in the audience, please stand and be recognized at this time. Congratulations, great job. The next group, doing the honors for the next group is Ana Cruz, one of our board members. And again, these are members of the Technology Department's 19th Annual Multimedia Contest. And these students competed in the digital slideshow. And they are Enrique Mabloy, 1st place winner, 6th grader at Miller Jordan Middle School. We have one student, Berta Cabasa Middle School, Rebecca Guzman, that earned 2nd place, 6th grader. Another student from Berta Cabasa Middle School is Liam Gore, placed 6th grade, placed 3rd in that particular competition. Lisbeth Sanchez placed 1st. She is from Miller Jordan Middle School. Angelica Vasquez placed 1st, a 6th grader at Miller Jordan Middle School. Josue Monjaraz, 1st place from Miller Jordan Middle School, a 6th grader. Heaven Aguilar placed 2nd from Berta Cabasa Middle School, a 6th grader. Eileen Alejo placed 2nd, 6th grader at Berta Cabasa Middle School. Angelina Lara placed second at Berta Cavazza Middle School student, is a sixth grader at that campus. Victor Perez placed third, a sixth grader at Berta Cavazza Middle School. Max Ramos placed third, also a student at Berta Cavazza Middle School and is a sixth grader. And Andres Martinez placed third, also a student at Berta Cavazza Middle School, a sixth grader. We have a seventh grader from Riverside Middle School, Maria Benavides, placed first. Cecilia Moreno placed second from Riverside Middle School, is a seventh grader. Alejandra Rojas placed third from Miller Jordan Middle School, is a seventh grader. Desiree Salcedo placed third, is a seventh grader at Miller Jordan Middle School. And the teachers and sponsors are Alicia Litchi, Cynthia Sartuche Manrique, David Smith, Kenneth Walcott, and Israel Garcia. And they are joining the students this evening. And principals at those campuses, Ray Saldaña, Mary Alice Leal, and Esther Gonzalez. And parents of these fine students, if y'all are in the audience, please stand and be recognized at this time. Congratulations, students and sponsors. Great job. Thank you. That concludes the special recognition portion of this agenda.
Next item is item number 8, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Quaid.
Thank you, Mr. Board President. Trustee. I can't remember that. Just a couple of things I'd like to highlight on the overnight trips. One is the VMA San Benito Junior ROTC that's traveling to Kingsville. And the reason I'd like to highlight that, again, it's about their leadership. And I know that the board and our leadership here in the community is talking about really focusing our young kids on improving their leadership skills. So that's something I really want to highlight. Also, I think what's important here is the overnight trip to the Ivy League schools. The San Benito High School Gear Up will travel to Boston, Massachusetts, June 10th through 13th to really look at some Ivy League schools and really expose them to a completely different experience. So that's real exciting. Also want to highlight and I'm probably getting ahead of myself with highlighting the track and the boys baseball. I think they did a great job, so I want to highlight that. Did a great job. And also this Friday, there's something exciting going on in San Benito at 7 p.m. 7:30. Well, I'm going to be there at 5:30. I'm going to get my seat, and I'm going to fight you for it. The girls are playing a very exciting game, and it's going to be amazing. I think everyone is just taken up with the excitement, so everyone's going to be there. So the girls softball team is going to state, and they're going to continue their run to state, and let's all be there. Thank you. Mr. Board President, I do have an update on the 90-day plan review, and I'm going to pass these out here to each trustee. Take one and pass it down, please. Thank you. And trustees, enclosed are a few items that relate to the 90-day plan. I promised you an update, a review of our systems in the district. I think the most important system we want to show really to begin with is, we had 4 goals. We had the goal of academics, we had the goal of finance, we had the goal of governance, and we had the goal of community relations when we first came together in January, 18 weeks ago. As we look at the finances over the last 18 weeks, particularly over the last 6 weeks here, we know that the budget hasn't really looked promising. But I did commit to you and the trustees, Mr. Board President and trustees, that we would pledge a balanced budget to the taxpayers, and we haven't done that in quite some time. What you have before you is merely a draft of a balanced budget. And so I'll take a moment to go through it with you very briefly. Let me plug this in here. I'm not sure Mr. Ramos has used a computer before, but he's trying. Kidding. Good. And then go to 90 days, 60 days. Just slideshow.
No, it's this one right here. This is push open. This one. And this RGB and YGB panels. This one. The second one has RGB.
So just real briefly, trustees, just the most important part of the budget is the revenue. Do we have an accurate revenue estimate? Now remember, there are a lot of variables that go into the revenue estimate, particularly the ADA. What we're looking at right now, local, state, and federal revenue is about a little over $100 million. Okay, slightly less from last year. This is a very, very conservative estimate of revenue. I don't like surprises, so we're going to look at this budget very closely from May all the way through August, and you will get monthly updates on where we're at. This is where we're at right now, but we want to start with a balanced budget. Remember, our focus is building the fund balance. If we look at, here we go, we got, again, revenues of $101 million. If we look at the expenditures and just break it into the big areas, payroll, contract services, supplies, materials, debt service, equipment, right now, based on the reductions we're doing, we're estimating expenditures just over $95 million. Keep in mind, we're estimating revenues of over $100 million. When we do the transfer from fund balance into debt service, that's going to lower that spread between the expenditures and revenues. So again, we are trying to budget for fund balance. And not only is this budget a draft of a balanced budget, but it's a draft that is budgeting for fund balance. So right now, today, on May 12th, we're proposing a balanced budget. You don't have to vote on it tonight, obviously. But we are talking about, so far today, a fund balance increase of $2.5 million today. Now, how did we get there? And without going into too much detail, I don't want to bog you down in the details, but I do want to show you how we've arrived. If you see 2013 column there, you've got what you actually spent as a district in 13-14, what we've amended to date in 14-15, and then as we build the budget for 15-16, we can see considerable decrease across all those functions, all the way from instruction, all the way down to your debt service payments and your tax payments. If you go to the far right-hand column, to date we've reduced the budget by 5%. For a district this size, that is significant. The overall budget reduction to date is nearly $5.3 million. And again, I want you to understand we are keeping our eye. We've got a burning focus on the budget right now. It is the biggest hole in the boat. As we set our goals, we came together, we realized we got that first audit at the end of January that we had really a crisis on our hands. But let you know that we're going to address that crisis head on, and we're going to be responsible, make sure that we prove to the taxpayers that we're going to propose a balanced budget to you all. So that's where we're at with the budget at this point today. The last thing I want to say to you is really related to the system analysis that I promised you. The last page in your handout, in your packet, is a 6-page document that I can't seem to get up here. Mr. Benny, will you get that for me, sir? Mr. V. I said we'd look at some key areas and really come up with the list of concerns. In other words, what systems are we missing in the district? After 18 weeks in the district, what areas do I see need major improvement? And if you go through this, the first area is really looking at our organizational health. And there are 6 areas. There are 6 areas in the organizational health that I want you to look at with me. And I think number 1 is just us creating a professional culture. That's the first one. And it really starts with us focusing on our brand. We've had a lot of brand damage. And so that's what I talk about, the impact area. The next area is elevating the level of accountability. And I wrote some things there that I think are just my assessment of the 18 weeks. And I put here specifically the evaluations of personnel, the rigorous evaluations of personnel are not there. They're not there. And I'm talking every department. We are not rigorously evaluating everyone. I put number 3 there, building a competitive teacher pay system. Good teachers will leave our district, and they already have, because the pay is not competitive, and y'all know that. But we're striving towards that. We've got to build a fund balance we can put back in the teacher pockets. I talked about devising a system of information sharing. Number 5, develop a culture of talent feedback. And I put there in red, talent isn't enough. We have to create a model of expectations, coaching, and feedback from everyone. Everyone needs to be coached and given feedback. If we go to the next page, one of the system problems we have is with the grievances. We have to curtail the grievances. That is a foundation of folks feeling maybe a lack of trust and also a lack of, what I put here, equity and fairness. If you go to the second system, we talked a little bit about finance, and I won't go through all of it right there other than to say, thank you for making that larger. The audit talked about the finance and the software systems that were kind of clunky, and so we're going to have to, and I put here, per our audit, upgrade all the financial software and integrate it with purchasing, with HR, and the other software. It's all got to be integrated. We've got too many systems competing. It's simply not efficient. Again, evaluating this over 18 weeks, number 8 in the finance system, we're going to propose balanced budgets. That's it. If I'm sitting here in the audience and I pay taxes, I expect the superintendent and the business manager to work together to present a balanced budget to trustees. And we started that tonight, and this is only a draft. I did talk about on number 9, as we analyze the system in the district, we need to hire an external auditor to review the business processes. Everything from accounts payable to transfers, internal controls. That came out in your audit, and so we've got to bring someone to kind of help us look at that. We just want to be better at what we do, and that's why that's on there. I want to talk a little bit about number 10, the fiscal handbook that I gave you in February at that budget workshop. That's just something you should expect every quarter, those reports on fund balance, staffing formulas, those kinds of things. I'm going to highlight number 11 here, and I put here in red, we must always be ready for a federal audit. We have to run our federal programs as if we're waiting for an audit to come tomorrow. That means we have to triangulate the district improvement plan, the comprehensive needs assessment, and the budget. Those all have to be triangulated. So somebody walks in and says, hey, can I see your migrant program? Can I see your special ed program? That's all got to be done. And we need to do that internally, so we need to scrub that. I'm going to put ultra financial transparency up here. We have to pursue what I call, and the state comptroller gives us a seal if we're very transparent with our audits, if we're transparent with our budgets, If we're transparent with our check register, we get that seal. In my last year's check, we earned the bronze seal. The highest one is platinum. We want to shoot for that. We want that reputation. Again, it's about building our brand. How do we build the Greyhound brand? If we go to human resources, I'm going to skip to 14. Again, these are system number 14 in the district. We don't really have a good integration of HR and business, and we are improving that every day, and they'll tell you that. But I'm going to turn the page here. Business ought to be able to go to HR and see who's certified, who's coded correctly. How they're coded in the business office in PEAMS as an auxiliary person, they better be coded over here in the HR department the same way. They're not always coded the same way. So we're cleaning that up. That's an ongoing process. If we go to 15 and 16, you'll turn the page with me. Overhaul pay scale, salary schedules, and guidelines. This is in progress. Several pay schedules not aligned with market trends. You're aware of that. I'm going to go on to 17. And feel free to interject at any time, trustees, please. This is an important one right here. Establish effective position control mechanisms. Position control, I should say, has been absent. It is no longer absent. Position control just means you use staffing guidelines, and it's kind of like protecting your virtue. You say no. You control the positions that are hired at every level and every department. So when I put here, most areas staffed inefficiently, staffing benchmarks do not exist. Consequently, overstaffing has occurred. We know this. I'm going to go to 18, establish effective leveling process. The process of leveling has been spotty at best. In other words, if you have not enough kids here, but you got more than enough teachers, we're going to move some teachers to this campus over here because we want to make sure we're not just going, okay, you're fine over there, you got too many, if you get more kids, great. Oh, you're short over here, we're going to hire some more teachers over here. No, just take some over here. We don't have enough kids. So we got to balance and level across the district. We haven't done that well for several years. We are now. Establish effective leveling process. I said design and build internal. This is important. Design and build internal selection and recruitment system. We have a lot of talented people in our district. I know, I've seen them. I don't know them all yet, but I hope to. We have to have an on-deck system. So if I'm somebody who just got a mid-management certification, I want to be a principal, do we have a system in the district to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to nominate this young lady who is a rock star. She's going to be a great leader. We're going to put her on deck, and we're going to give her some mentoring and help so we can hire her and build her capacity and hire her as the next principal or assistant principal of some school. We don't have that. We need that system. I'm going to go to operations and talk a little bit about the transportation. We need to really improve the way we route, the way we schedule. The percentage of ridership on each bus is not where it needs to be. The flexing of the scheduling. The zoning needs to be reevaluated. All of that for efficiency purposes. There will be an outside entity, probably from Region 4, that will come in and help do that for us. We just want to be efficient with our transportation. We're going to look at, I'm going to skip down to 24. This is important. And this was alarming as I studied the district here for the last 18 weeks. We do not have a records management system. Is Channel 5 here today? Don't put down the news. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That's important. It's in board policy. We have to have a custodian of record. Right now, when records are preserved, when records are destroyed, and they're scheduled for that, it has to be systematically. At a district of this size, it is haphazard at best. It's in board policy, and I think I put it in here, CPC, legal and local, of how that process goes. We're going to fix it. Okay? All right. Thanks for the thumbs up. That's important, though. We have to manage our records. There's a whole destruction process, and you have to identify when that happens. It has to be very organized. As a district this size, we've got to improve that. I'm going to go to governance here, referring to us, the board superintendent team. Number 25, targeted board training retreats. I want to make sure we work together and really be strategic about what we need for training. Is it in budgeting? Is it in understanding curriculum a little bit better? But it should be based on the self-assessment ratings, and we should do that quarterly. So we can anticipate this summer a self-assessment. How are we doing? I already know Mr. Madrana is going to give himself an A+. I already know him. That was a joke. You're laughing. This is important too. If you look at BBD Local and the exhibit, it talks about the advocacy of roles and responsibilities as policymakers. That's real powerful for trustees. So it's an opportunity right now for you all to be working on, during the legislative process, really talking to the Board of Education and those folks that influence policy. That's an important role for you all. Visioning, I think, is the single most important process we will undertake as a team. And I put timelines on these, and I won't refer to all of them, but they're on there. Again, 90 days, this is a summary and assessment of what we've learned in 90 days. The superintendent evaluation process, you are required by law to get trained in that before you evaluate your superintendent. That's forthcoming. Board operating procedures, we looked at that way back when I got here in January. I think we should be able to wrap that up by end of May. I have here by end of June. But it's a critical component of the way you govern. Technology, there's a few things here. I really want to highlight 31. Incorporate the use of technology to teach the TEKS, the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. We've got the gadget part down. Every school in the nation has got the edutainment down. We've got all the gadgets. Everybody loves gadgets. But my deal is, how do we make kids sweat mentally? How do we use the gadgets so kids can think deeper about their learning? That's the part we're not assessing very well. We're not. And that's no knock on anybody here. We just haven't done a very good job of being targeted about assessing the impact of our gadgets on the learning in the classroom. I'm going to go to public relations and I'm going to pick on 33 there. And again, as I assess the first 90 days here, we need some leadership training on public relations and media. We do. How do we respond? Every time Channel 5 comes, I say, nope. I'm kidding. I don't do that. You're nodding your head. Yes, you do. No, but you weren't supposed to do that. How do we respond appropriately to the media in a cohesive message? We'll have some training on that. And we've talked a little bit with Community Relations Director, Ms. Longoria, on how we're going to roll that out. I'm going to skip to 35. I think this is the most important thing. As a system, as we evaluate the first 90 days here in the job, the first 18 weeks, we need to dramatically improve the customer service. From the way we answer the phone, to the way our letterhead looks, to the way we greet people when they come in the door. That has to be very planned and deliberate. We haven't done that. Most school districts don't do that. They think they're the only game in town. Well, there's other games in town. There's other districts in town. There's homeschool in town. There's virtual schools in town. But we've got to improve and let the public know, I like the way I was treated at San Benito today. I picked up the phone. They said, hey, how are you? It's a great day at San Benito. Somebody said that one time in here. I think we also need to look at, as a system, number 36. This is the last section. And these are 42 areas, 42 systems, major systems we need to improve. 42 systems. This is the last area, curriculum and instruction. And I think this is our core business here. That's why there are the most components here in this section. One is curriculum alignment. We need a system that guarantees that we are planning and teaching the written curriculum and we're testing it appropriately. We don't have that right now. We don't. We have it in pockets, some very good pockets. I know, I've seen it. But we don't have it systemically, and it's coming out in our scores. Our scores are okay. Some of you may be happy, but we're not satisfied, right? We're happy, we're not satisfied. We can get better because I've seen the talent. We just got to build a system. The district lacks clearly articulated curriculum. Number 38, local goals to drive achievement. I put here principal feedback regarding goal setting varies from campus to campus. The way we set goals, very specific and measurable goals, varies across the campuses. We need to make sure we give principals the capacity to build those goals very, very clearly, and we hold them accountable to goals, but most importantly, those goals are aligned to the board goals that we're going to have to set. Okay, and then I'm going to talk a little bit here about 40. We need a robust evaluation of resources and periodic review of the curriculum. And I highlighted this here. I didn't highlight it here. I should have. It says there's a lack of systemic evaluation of resources and curriculum tools. And it ties into number 41. Number 41 is an allocation of resource flows to the areas of greatest need. We throw a lot of money and resources at academically fragile children. We do. But I call it a spray and pray philosophy. We're just going to spray and pray. Let's throw some resources. Let's throw it out there. One of them is going to hit, and somebody's going to score is going to go up. Well, guess what? They're not hitting, and the scores aren't going up because we haven't evaluated those tools systematically. That is a system problem in the organization. We can fix it. This is why you have to identify the problem first. That's a real quick summary. I asked trustees if you'll evaluate, look at it carefully, and come back to me with questions. But these are 42 systems that we're going to have to improve if we're going to make this the premier district in the Valley, and we will. Thank you.
Any questions? Any questions?
No, I'd just like to make a comment. It is very commendable, Dr. Puig, to see that there's some intensive implementation and review of your goals and objectives. I commend you for that. That's all. Thank you.
I used to be patient advocate at Valley Regional Medical Center, and what you said about image and friendliness and, you know, when you walk into any building in the district, there needs to be a friendly face there. That's what people remember as soon as you walk in the district. So you're right. We need to fix our brand name, and I commend you for your presentation. Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Quigg, all I'm going to say it's management overhaul.
Yeah.
So we move on. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next item on the agenda is item number 9, public comment. We do have one individual who has registered for public comment. I will read the rules of public comment. The person who wishes to address the board shall register with the presiding officer, which he has, shall state their full name, shall state what organization or group, if any, they are representing, shall state the topic for which to address the school board, shall refrain from commenting directly on any individual school district employee or public official by name, but may instead refer to specific employment areas, job title, or the Board of Trustees as a whole. Shall refrain from attacks on individual. The person wishing to address the board should do so in accordance with the following school district BED policy. The speaker will be allowed 5 minutes to give his or her presentation. Delegations of 5 or more shall appoint one person to represent the views. Presentations shall be informative and shall pertain to school-related business. Any attack on an individual should be considered disruption of the meeting. Board of Trustees shall not deliberate or decide regarding any subject that is included on the agenda posted without notice of this meeting. At this point, I have John Shergold. You may step up, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Shergold, and I'm a frequent visitor here. And so tonight I'm here on behalf of the Texas Classroom Teachers Association and the San Benito Classroom Teachers Association. Recently, the school district experienced some form of network disruption, the breach that the Texas Classroom Teachers Association's concerned about. Some of the issues is that it's a loss of some of the personnel information. Texas Classroom Teachers Association and also the San Benito Teachers Classroom Association asked that the district provide assistance such as credit protection for employees whose personal information was possibly compromised. A lot of situations we hear about some of these banks that get hacked into and up in the Northeast or out in the West, and we don't think that can happen here. However, when something like this happens, there's ways that the association believes could be handled, such as registering some of your employees for credit protection. This is something that's very smart to do. If anyone gets a hold of someone's personal information, the Social Security or any sort of identifiers, then those associations, the credit bureau agencies, could alert that individual and prevent years and years of aggravation and agitation. When someone gets a hold of these documents or these personal information and someone takes out a credit card, we've seen it, we've heard about it, then the best, what is it all saying, the best prevention is an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So if we could go ahead and the Texas Classroom Teachers Association humbly ask that this board look into this, and of course we know you can't respond because this is public comment. However, if there are compromised information that's been obtained through bad means, through people that have bad intentions, one of the ways is to protect us, register the employees for the credit protection, and we appreciate your consideration on that. Also, I'd like to go ahead and talk a little bit about what has transpired. The association states that, we believe it appears that the agenda on the board will consider releasing some or all of the probationary contract employees to deal with the budget shortfall. The agenda is not specific as to who would be affected by the terminations. We would ask that the board not terminate teachers and instructional personnel simply because they have probationary contracts, for the following reasons. A, we do not know yet the extent to which attrition and campus central office cuts will address the budget shortfall. B, we have not heard anything about the budget crisis that dictates the need to cut all of the probationary contract teachers and instructional personnel. And lastly, C, cutting probationary contract teachers and instructional personnel seems to fly in the face of what we understood about the plan to address the shortfall, such as cuts that would not come from teachers because attrition and other budget solutions implemented over a 3-year period could restore the budget in a healthy balance. The association that has asked me to be here, that I represent, the Classroom Teachers Association, again, we appreciate you listening to our position on behalf of the association, and I would just like to say that it doesn't cost to be nice to people. I learned that when I worked up in the legislature many years ago out of law school. My mentor, State Senator Doyle Willis, used to tell me the same thing, smile and always write back to your constituents. Heck, he had me every day, he'd have me write on a piece of paper, I agree 100%. I said, Senator, do you really agree 100%? Of course I do. I got you writing it back to our constituents. But the thing of it is that he taught me the importance to respond and to connect with your constituents, and I appreciate what was said up here, and the association, I think, would also agree with me. I would just say, however, that when people are under the rain cloud of losing their jobs and that type of ordeal is going on, sometimes that can take the smile off your face. So we wish Dr. Puig the best, and his being, labeled the savior of San Benito School District. We wish him the best in what he's doing, and we hope that the programs that he is implementing has a positive effect. But I would just say in closing that it is somewhat difficult to smile when you know that your job is being cut. And my mom was a waitress. My dad was a union steward at Bell Helicopter Textron. I used to stand outside when there were strikes going on. I was 7, 8 years old at the time, many years ago. They probably call that child abuse now. They call that just raising your child to be a good union and a good association member. But like I said, we would appreciate that the district take a hard look at doing other things than cutting the probationary contract teachers and other personnel tonight. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your service. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item is item number 10, action items. In order to promote efficient meetings, the board may act upon more than one item for a single vote through the use of a consent agenda. Consent items placed on the agenda should be marked with an asterisk. Consent items are items for which no board discussion is anticipated and for which the superintendent recommends approval. Prior to the time of which approval of consent agenda is had, at the request of any member of the Board of Trustees, any item on the consent agenda shall be removed and given individual consideration. Under Business and Finance, we have 1505A1, request for approval of 2014-2015 budget amendments. 1505A2, request for approval of 2014-2015 budget transfers. Under Administration, we have 1505A3, request for approval of board minutes. No question. Is there a motion to approve all three items as presented?
So moved.
There's a motion by Mr. Mendez. There's a second by Mr. Leal. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Next item is item closed meeting, discussion under the authority of Texas Government Code 551071 for the purpose of private consultation with the board's attorney on any subject matter or matters authorized by law. 551074 for the purpose of the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee to hear complaints or charges against a public officer or employee A, report on personnel. B, employment, resignations, and retirements. C, discussion and consideration of the termination of probationary contracts at the end of the 2014-2015 school year. We convene into the closed session at 7:50. We reconvene back into open meeting at 8:09. Next item is item A, action on items discussed in closed session if necessary. Dr. Puig.
Thank you, Mr. Board President, trustees. I'd like to make a statement before we get started. At this time, we are not looking to terminate any probationary contracts, period, of teachers. Tonight, we're only looking at those grant-funded positions that have historically we've absorbed. And we're not looking at teachers, grant-funded teachers. So I'd like to recommend the termination of counselors that are probationary tonight. And those three individuals that will recommend for termination of the probationary contract for the 14-15 year are Juanita Moran, Enidelia Salinas, Idalia Garcia Garza.
Is there a motion to accept the recommendation of Dr. Puig?
So moved.
There is a motion by Mr. Mendez. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Ana Cruz. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Dr. Puig.
Mr. Board President, trustees, I'd like to recommend the renewal of the contracts for the 15-16 school year for all the campuses, for the teachers, the librarians, the assistant principals, and those nurses.
There's a request, but our recommendation, Dr. Puig, of course, these are on those that you've prepared and are ready to
Yes, those are
to approve.
correct.
Okay. Is there a motion on the floor as recommended by Dr. Puig?
So moved.
There's a motion by Mr. Medrano.
Second.
There's a second by Mr. Mendez. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes.
Nothing further, sir.
Nothing further. Thank you. Okay. Before we adjourn, I know that this may be the last meeting for two of our trustees, and I want to extend my appreciation to both Ileana Gonzalez and Fatima Huerta for their service to our community. I know it is a difficult venture for all of us. At times, these decisions we make can affect the lives of many, and it is very hard. And as a president who served with you, or at least an individual who has served with you for this last year, I just want to tell you that I thank you for the service that you've provided to us. Appreciate the time and the effort, and we thank you very much for what you've done. And I'll allow you a moment if you'd like to address the crowd.
Thank you. Being that this is my final meeting, I do have a brief statement that I want to go ahead and, I've already scripted it because if I speak impromptu, it's not going to go well. So I'm just going to go ahead and read a brief statement that I'd like to extend out to the community. To my beloved community of San Benito, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be part of this great organization we call San Benito CISD. I come before you with sincere appreciation for the confidence and trust you vested in me these past 6 years. It was truly an honor and rewarding experience for me both personally and professionally. I am well aware that alone I was unable to resolve every problem we encountered during my service, but genuine effort was made to work collectively with my colleagues towards district improvement. Inevitably, trials and triumphs lay ahead for this district, but I pray that these newly elected trustees that will soon start remain focused and make decisions in the best interest of all stakeholders. The successes or lack thereof rest on your conscience, so I ask that they do what's right with dignity and pride, as they are now the voice for our students, our staff, and our community. And I just want to go ahead and say that even though I won't be here on the board serving as a trustee, my career of choice has always been education, and I'm just a phone call away. So I'm here to assist in any capacity that is necessary. So to the community, feel free to contact me. I'm always here as your humble servant. Thank you.
Thank you. And Fatima? Or
I will be here Monday to give up my seat, so I will give my statement on Monday. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Guimard. With that, we call this meeting adjourned at 8:15. Thank you.